Have you ever just stopped to think about written language? I mean, it's pretty amazing when you really think about it. All these different scripts, each one telling a story about its culture, about history. It's kind of like each script is a visual echo of where it came from.
It really is.
Yeah.
Script goes way beyond just writing down words. It's
Hmm.
a visual representation of a culture's whole history, their art,
Right.
their identity, every little curve, every angle. It all has meaning. It's like they're whispering secrets from the past.
And that brings us to today's deep dive. It's inspired by your recent exploration into Persian culture. You were totally captivated by those videos from the Hermitage Museum, the one with that 15th century manuscript of Nisami's poems, remember? Those amazing illustrations, the beautiful Nastaliq script.
Oh, absolutely. And the other one about the Persian state, how it emerged, the way they compared it to ancient Greek culture is fascinating.
Yeah, I found those comparisons really interesting too. And it sounds like those videos took you on quite a journey. You were spending all this time at the Asia Library, poring over online resources. And back in 2023, you came to a conclusion. You said that the beauty of Persian, especially how it's written, is deeply connected to the history and culture of the Persian people. You even made a video about it.
Well, I think it's natural, isn't it? When we see something beautiful, we want to understand it. We look for connections, for meaning. We want to know the story behind it.
Right. It's like we intuitively search for that deeper context. But then this year, 2025, you started to re-examine that idea. You brought up a really interesting point. You said the Persian alphabet, it uses 28 letters that originated in Arabic. So you started to wonder, maybe the beauty you saw should actually be attributed to the Arabic script itself. It's a great question.
It is. Because when a writing system evolves from another, we have to look closely. How much did the new script keep from the old?
Yeah.
And how much did it change?
So you turned to Gemini AI for some answers, and it came up with a pretty impressive research plan with analysis and all that.
It's amazing, isn't it, how AI can just pull all this information together from so many different sources. It's a great starting point for a much deeper dive.
Which brings us to our mission today. We want to really understand the beauty and the significance of the Persian script, not just where it came from, but what makes it uniquely Persian.
Exactly. To understand its journey, the amazing artistic expressions it's inspired, its place in Persian culture, a culture that truly values the art of writing.
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning, the history of the Persian script. Because Persian wasn't always written with a script based on Arabic, was it?
No, not at all.
Right.
Before Islam came to Persia in the 7th century AD, Persian already had its own writing systems. Back in the Achaemenid Empire, they used Old Persian cuneiform. You know, those wedge-shaped
Oh,
characters?
right, like those ancient carvings you see on tablets and monuments.
Exactly. Later on, Middle Persian came about, and with it, the Pahlavi script. Now, this was a really interesting one, a heterographic system. It means the written form and the spoken word can have completely different origins. Kind of like, well, imagine writing the Roman numeral phi, but saying the word for.
Heterographic, huh? That sounds pretty complex. So when did the switch to what we know as the Perso-Arabic alphabet actually happen?
Well, it started after the Islamic conquest in 642 AD. But it wasn't a sudden change. It took a couple of centuries for the Perso-Arabic script to become the main system. By the 9th century, it was pretty much standard in Greater Khorasan. You know, that's the area northeast of modern-day Iran.
Right, and it wasn't just a simple copy-paste of the 28 Arabic letters, was it? Gemini mentioned there were some pretty big changes.
Oh, definitely. Persian has sounds that don't even exist in Arabic.
Yeah.
So they had to get creative. They came up with 4 brand new letters just for those Persian sounds. And there's this older letter, too, that used to be used, but now it's obsolete. So with those additions, the Persian alphabet now have 32 letters.
So right off the bat, we've got these visual differences. Extra letters you won't find in regular Arabic. That's a pretty significant change, isn't it?
Huge. And it wasn't just about adding new letters. They also changed how some of the Arabic letters were pronounced to fit Persian better, like pharyngalization, for example. It's this way of pronouncing sounds deep in your throat. It's really common in Arabic, but not in Persian. So even if letter looks the same, it might sound different in the 2 languages.
So even if it looks similar on paper, it could sound totally different when you speak it.
Yeah.
Interesting. What about how the script looks on the page? Gemini mentioned something about orthographic distinctions.
Right. There's some subtle but important differences there, too. One key difference is how they use diacritical marks. Those little dots and lines above or below the letters that indicate short vowels. In Arabic, they're used a lot to make sure everything's clear and to differentiate between words. But in Persian, they're used less often. You mostly see them in religious texts or textbooks, where being super precise is really important. In everyday writing, Persian tends to have fewer of those marks.
So it probably looks less, I don't know, crowded on the page compared to Arabic, where those diacritics are everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. It has a different visual feel. And then there's the Hamza, that little symbol that shows a glottal stop. It has its own specific rules in Persian, marking those little breaks between vowels. And of course, like Arabic, Persian is written from right to left, and it's cursive. So the shape of a letter changes depending on where it is in a word.
Right, so it has that flowing, connected look. But Gemini also pointed out something unique to Persian, that zero-vit non-joiner. What does that do exactly?
The Zirvit. It's a really cool feature. Basically, it's a character that stops certain letters from joining up within a word. It creates these little visual breaks in the text. Unlike in Arabic, where the letters usually flow together, the Zirvit creates a little separation. It's not very common in other scripts based on Arabic, so it gives Persian a special visual texture.
So when you combine all those changes, the extra letters, the pronunciation shifts, the orthographic differences, the zero-vit, it seems like Persian really made that Arabic script its own.
It did. They took the Arabic script as a base, and then they transformed it. It's like they carefully tailored a suit to fit perfectly. They created a writing system that was uniquely suited to the Persian language and their artistic tastes.
And speaking of art, we can't forget about Persian calligraphy. It has its own rich history, right?
Oh, absolutely. It goes way back, even before Islam came to Persia. Beautiful writing was highly respected in ancient Persian culture, which was influenced by Zoroastrianism. Clear, elegant script that was very important to them.
So valuing beautiful writing wasn't something new that came with the Arabic script. It was already there.
Exactly. It was a value that they already held. And when the Arabic script came along, it sparked this incredible new chapter in their artistic expression. At first, they started using the Kufic script, one of the earliest Arabic calligraphy styles. It's all about those bold, angular, almost geometric shapes. You often see a distinct square form in Kufic. But you know what? Iranian calligraphers, they started adding their own touch, softening those sharp angles, bringing in more symmetry.
So even when they adopted an Arabic style, they still gave it their own Persian twist.
Yeah, that's important to remember. It wasn't just blind imitation. And then, about 1,000 years ago, we see these 6 new styles of calligraphy emerging. They're often considered part of Arabic calligraphy, but it's crucial to understand they were developed according to the Alkat-Ullmann subsystem. It was a system with very precise rules about the proportions of the letters, the relationship between different parts of the letters. It basically set the standard for calligraphic beauty. Guess what? It was created by Ibn Mukhla, a Persian calligrapher who served as vizier in the Abbasid court.
Wow. So a Persian was right at the heart of creating those fundamental rules of calligraphy. And those 6 styles, they spread all across Persia.
They did. Each one had its own special characteristics.
Yeah.
And then in the 12th century, the Talik script emerged. It means hanging in Persian. At first, it was kind of a shorthand script, used for documents and letters. They wanted something faster, more flowing. Talik was a combination of 2 other styles, Nashk and Thuluth. People loved it because it was all rounded, connected letters, perfect for writing Persian poetry and official documents. Again, we see that Persian preference for those rounded forms.
That tendency towards roundness, it's definitely a recurring theme. And then there's Nastaliq, the bride of calligraphy, right? Tell me about that one.
Nastaliq. It appeared in the 14th century, and it's considered the most beautiful of all Persian calligraphic styles. The master calligrapher, Mir Ali Tabrizi, is credited with developing it. It's just magical. It combines elements of Nashk and Talik to create something totally unique. It's like watching the words dance and glide across the page. So graceful.
The bride of calligraphy, that's such a beautiful way to describe it. What makes it so visually appealing?
It's all about the curves. It has these gentle curves, short vertical strokes, and then these long sweeping horizontal strokes. It creates a feeling of rhythm and balance, perfect for capturing the melody of Persian verse. There's a legend that says the shape of the letters was inspired by the way geese fly. So elegant.
I love that image. You can really see that fluidity in the script. So Nastaliq became the go-to script for transcribing those famous works of Persian literature by Rumi, Ferdowsi, all the greats. And that manuscript you saw in the Hermitage video, that was probably an example of Nastaliq, wasn't it?
Almost certainly. A 15th century manuscript of Persian poetry. It would have been written in Nastaliq script for sure. And then master calligraphers like Sultan Ali Mashhadi and Mir Ali Haravi, they came along and refined it even further. It became the ultimate Persian calligraphic style.
So we see this whole artistic evolution happening, leading to these uniquely Persian styles like Nastaliq. But They didn't stop using the other styles, did they?
No, not at all. While Nastaliq became the main one for literary works, other styles continued to be used, like Shikasida Nastaliq, which means broken Nastaliq. It's a much more free-flowing, expressive style. And they also used Arabic scripts. Naskh, known for its clarity, was often used for religious texts. And Thuluth, which has a grand, monumental feel, was often used for architectural inscriptions.
So calligraphy wasn't just for books, it was everywhere. In mosques, palaces, even on everyday objects.
It really was woven into the very fabric of Persian art and architecture. You see it on ceramics, metalwork, all sorts of things. The artistic journey of the Persian script, it went far beyond just taking the Arabic letters. It blossomed into this whole world of beautiful expression.
Now let's talk more about the visual side of things. We talked about those 4 letters unique to Persian,
Hmm.
and you said they appear quite often. Does that make Persian text instantly recognizable?
Absolutely. Those 4 letters, they're like little flags saying, hey, this is Persian. They represent sounds that are really common in Persian, but not found in Arabic, especially in words that originally came from Persian.
Mm.
And there are a lot of those words in the language. So anyone who knows both scripts can spot those letters right away.
And besides those unique letters, are there any other, maybe smaller visual differences in the way some of the letters are written?
Oh, there are. Even though some letters might look similar at first glance, there are little variations in how they're formed, the length of the strokes, how curved they are. And as we said earlier, Persian doesn't use as many diacritics as Arabic, so it has a different visual texture, lighter, less dense.
So each script developed its own personality, visually speaking. What about those other Perso-Arabic scripts, Urdu and Pashto? Do they look similar to Persian?
They do share a common ancestor, but each one has taken its own path. Urdu, for example, also uses Nastaliq a lot, but it has even more extra letters than Persian. They needed those to capture all the sounds in the language, and Urdu Nastaliq often stacks letters vertically, so it has a different visual rhythm than Persian Nastaliq. And Pashto, another language written with a modified Arabic script, has 12 extra letters. Some of them look quite different from their Persian counterparts.
And what about that Ziravit non-joiner? Do the other scripts use it too?
Not as much as Persian. It's a really distinctive feature in Persian, creating those visual breaks within words. So even though they all came from the same root, each script has evolved its own visual identity. And Persian, it definitely stands out.
So visually, Persian has its own unique look, but what about the aesthetic side of things? Do experts see a specific beauty in the Persian script, or is it just cultural bias?
No, it's definitely recognized as a beautiful script. People often describe Persian as being very musical, lyrical, and many believe that the flowing cursive nature of the script reflects that, especially in the calligraphic styles. It's like the movement of the script mirrors the rhythm of the spoken language.
The visual form echoing the sound of the language, that's fascinating. And Persian calligraphy itself is considered a high art form, right?
Absolutely. Experts in art history, cultural commentators, they all agree. Persian calligraphy is a highly sophisticated and beautiful art form. And the word for calligraphy in Persian, koshnivisi, literally means beautiful writing. They put beauty right there in the name. And the Tali Kriok, it's often praised for how well it captures the essence of Persian poetry. That elegance, that flow, it's like the words are dancing on the page. And then, of course, there's Nastaliq. Those letter forms inspired by flying geese. It's a beautiful example of how they intentionally pursued grace and visual harmony.
So it's not just about familiarity. It's about centuries of tradition, of refining and valuing the beauty of this script. And the golden age of manuscript illumination, that was a pretty clear example of that, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely. The 15th century, under the Timurid dynasty, was a time of incredible artistic flourishing in Persia. And that included illuminated manuscripts with calligraphy of the highest level. During this time, Nastaliq really cemented itself as the leading script for these manuscripts. It shows just how mature and admired the style had become.
So what made those 15th century Nastaliq manuscripts so visually stunning? What were the key features?
Well, they had these amazingly graceful lines. You could really feel the movement in the script. There's a balance between short, sharp vertical strokes and then these long, sweeping horizontals, and that characteristic hanging style where the letters look like they're floating. It's a beautiful balance between being easy to read and being incredibly artistic. The calligraphers were masters. They also experimented a lot with how big the letters were and where they placed them on the page to create the perfect aesthetic effect.
And often, those manuscripts also had those intricate illuminations and those amazing miniature paintings.
Yes. Those detailed borders and the vibrant colors of the paintings combined with the beautiful calligraphy, it was truly spectacular. They created these incredibly luxurious, visually rich objects. There are some amazing examples, like the divan signed by Azar Tabrisi, the divan of Kamal Khajandi. And there's these incredible folios from the diwan of Sultan Hussein Baikara, attributed to Sultan Ali Mashhadi. They're just breathtaking, a real testament to the beauty and skill of Persian calligraphy during that period.
It makes you wonder how much the Persian language itself shaped how the script developed and its aesthetics.
Yeah.
You said something earlier about that musicality finding a visual form.
It's a fascinating connection. It does seem like the script, especially in styles like Nastaliq, visually captures that flowing lyrical nature of Persian. Some linguists believe that even the grammar of the language might have influenced this. The way Persian uses subject-object-verb order, the verb coming at the end of the clause, the use of suffixes, it all contributes to this sense of interconnectedness, a kind of flow that's reflected in the script.
So the structure of the language could be influencing how the script looks. That's a really cool idea.
It is, isn't it? Even small details can make a difference, like the Persian definite article, I. The way it's written, with that elongated horizontal stroke, contributes to the visual rhythm, especially in Nastaliq. And Persian has a simpler vowel system than Arabic, and it uses those short vowel diacritics less often. That also affects the visual texture of the script. So all these features of the language probably played a part in how those unique calligraphic styles developed. They gave calligraphers the freedom to explore different visual possibilities, ways to capture that inherent melody of Persian.
It's like the language and the script evolved together, each shaping the other. Now let's talk about the bigger picture, the historical and cultural significance. The Perso-Arabic script has survived for centuries, even though there have been other options. Why do you think that is?
Well, it shows how deeply rooted this script is in Persian culture. It's more than just a way of writing, it's part of their identity.
Yeah.
Over the centuries, there have been other scripts used for Persian. Old Persian cuneiform, Pahlavi, even Avestan before the Perso-Arabic script came along. And later on, Judeo-Persian was written using Hebrew script, and Tajik Persian in Central Asia ended up switching to Cyrillic. There were even movements to replace the Perso-Arabic script with Latin. Often these were tied to ideas of modernization.
But the Perso-Arabic script, it stuck around in Iran and Afghanistan.
Yes, it did. And there are a few reasons for that. First, it has this incredible historical legacy. It's the script that was used to write all those amazing Persian literary works, scientific texts, philosophical treatises. It's the script of their heritage, their cultural memory. It's tied to their national identity, their traditions. Second, the way it was adapted to fit the Persian language so well. Those extra letters, those subtle pronunciation changes, it just works for the language. And third, there's been a real cultural resistance to letting go of this script. It's so deeply connected to their art, their culture, their sense of self.
And Tajik Persian switching to Cyrillic, that was mainly because of Soviet influence, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was more about political pressure and cultural policies than anything else. The fact that the Perso-Arabic script survived in other areas, it shows how much it resonated with the people.
Yeah.
And how well it worked for the language and their artistic expression.
So the script itself became a symbol of Persian identity.
It did. For Iranians, the Persian language is central to their identity. It's a source of pride. And the Perso-Arabic script, it's a visual reminder of that identity. It connects them to their history, their culture, their incredible literary tradition. And calligraphy, with its intricate beauty, plays a huge role in preserving and expressing that. It embodies their aesthetic sense, that appreciation for the beauty of written language. And we see that influence even today. Modern art, graphic design, architecture, they all incorporate elements of Persian script and calligraphy. It's a living tradition, constantly evolving. More than just a writing system, it's a symbol of their cultural identity, a cornerstone of their artistic legacy.
It's been a really eye-opening deep dive. So to sum it all up, what are the key takeaways?
Well, the Persian script, even though it came from the Arabic alphabet, it went through its own unique evolution. There were significant changes to fit the Persian language, and then these amazing calligraphic traditions blossomed, with Nastaliq being the most famous example. And it became deeply embedded in Persian culture, a symbol of their identity.
So when you were first drawn to the beauty of that script in those Hermitage videos, it wasn't just because of its Arabic roots.
No, not at all. The Persian script has its own unique beauty. It's in those visual characteristics that evolved over time, its history of adaptation and artistic innovation, the incredible diversity of calligraphic styles. And of course, it's deeply connected to Persian literature, their culture, and their national identity.
So you were right to be fascinated by it back in 2023. There was a good reason for that.
Absolutely. The Persian script is a beautiful and significant part of Persian culture. It's something to be explored, appreciated, and respected.
It really makes you realize how deeply connected language, script, art, and culture are. Even when one system borrows from another, it can lead to something completely new, uniquely beautiful, and incredibly meaningful.